Alright. Go, magsisimula na.
Man, I can't be more awake. I'm so excited for this match, Nate. Well, yeah, I'm bluffing anyway. I am excited to see the match. So why don't you tell us who we've got playing here, Nate?
Roberto. Hindi, kaya tanong nga, kamusta ka raw?
Sino nagsabi?
Yung dito.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm good.
Hi, I'm good. Heads, please.
Lover, ikaw gusto mag-break o siya? Mauna ka? Nag-flip na. Ikaw. Okay, Roberto said he wanna go first.
Okay, have a good match, Roberto.
All right, there is our ad. Roberto, you are good to start. All right, your side view went off already. There we go. All right, Roberto, you are good to start.
Okay.
All right, and for those that are new to this format, this is a race to 7 against the 10-ball Ghost. They break. They have to the couple modifications. They have to make a legal break where they pocket one or more balls. So if they scratch or come up dry in the break, they do not get to continue that frame. So the break shot's pretty critical here. And I was watching Roberto warm up. He was making 3 balls. And funny thing though, let's see. Once he clears the way, what his results were. Looks like he's 4, 8, 9. So he only made 1 ball on that, right? 1 ball on that break, which warming up, he didn't hit the one quite as squarely. When he was warming up, he was hitting it. The one was coming up to the right-hand corner pocket on the bottom right of our screen. So break shot's pretty important in this format. And, Roberto's breaking pretty good. So that's I'm not surprised to see him go first. I feel like he wants to get up and just put the heat on his opponent right away.
Well, that and he's got to stay awake. He can't take the break. He might fall asleep. Apparently, he was out till 3:30 last night.
Huh.
Yep.
Everyone prepares for matches differently, I guess. Now that was a pretty key shot. It was actually kind of tough to get from the 3 to the 5. If you fall awkward on it. So he really did well. I think he's able to get. He doesn't even have to play short side. It doesn't look like, although he could. Okay.
Yep. So we'll take a real quick second here. Please share this stream. We are just starting up for the day, so we would really appreciate your support. We would love to see all of the people who comment with a nice share above their name. And Jessica Westbrook does not have a share above her name, even though she said she shared, so I'm not sure if we should believe her or not. But I suppose we will, just because she's awesome. Jim Telfer doesn't even have share above his name. So please give a share to the stream. And what I do want to say really quickly before we jump too deep into analysis, we are going to be giving away 3 brand new beautiful cues, which are right here. The left is a Shane Van Boning Cuetec. The one in the middle is a Jacoby Custom Q, and the one on the right is a Predator Road Line. We are giving away all 3 of those Qs at the end of this playoffs. If you would like your opportunity to win one of those, you can donate to the stream in any of the ways that you see on the pinned comments. We are also running little competitions along the way. Today, we are going to be giving away a Poison Jump Break You for whoever has the highest donation by the end of the day. So if you would like your opportunity to win a Poison Jump Break You, all you have to do is make a donation. And what a perfect time to get back to some analysis. Roberto gets himself just a little bit funny, huh? Doesn't look like it goes up to the corner.
This rack was really difficult. That 7 to the 8 lay really difficult. He got a good angle, came up a little shy on the 7 ball and on the 8 ball rather, and had to just kind of leg this 8 in. And now this is very difficult.
Nice.
Boy. So at that angle, if that ball catches the tip, it doesn't just slide in. I mean, that was such a tight pocket and such a blind back cut that he's really showing that that's showing he's here to play. That's pretty impressive.
Beautifully done. Over to Wojtek for his first opportunity.
Now, I've not seen Wojtek play. He's actually his Fargo rate. So the Fargo rate levels of these guys, Roberto Gomez is a 786. Wojtek is actually 794. So I didn't know that. I haven't seen this gentleman play before. So I'm kind of looking forward to this.
Yeah, Szewczyk is he's a little under the radar as far as the top European players, but he is actually, we know a lot of his contemporaries and his fellow countrymen. We know, of course, Mieszko Fortunski, and that's a terrible kick. That is a terrible kick for him. We know like the Fortunskis type players and the Conrads, but actually per Fargo rate, like you said, Wojtek is actually ranked higher than all of those other Polish players.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Yeah, that break shot. I was watching them both warm up on the break, and Wojtek was making 1 ball on the break, but
Sorry, Roberto, you are up.
Ako na?
So Wojtek scratch on the break, right?
Correct. Yep. So you are up, Roberto.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're just making that 1 ball, or when your break production is a little lower, it puts a lot of heat on you. I know I felt that during my match, and it did not perform well. Roberto's been playing 3 balls on the break, and he's been hitting them so square. The 9 ball's been traveling 4 rails and hitting the 2 ball as the 2 ball bangs off the side rail. So let's just see how square. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the 9. Okay, the 9 did not hit the 2, but he was hitting them very square earlier, getting identical results. But now it's very interesting. He's only making 1 ball to break, and that one seemed, the 4 ball looks like one on the side. So it's interesting how when the match starts and the pressure's on, it can make the break shot very difficult. Okay, how do you read this rack, Nate? What's the key transition here?
The 3 to the 4 looks to be about the most difficult as far as getting onto the 4 to the 5. Because once you get onto the 5 ball good, the rest of the rack kind of runs itself, it looks like. So
yeah. And one thing I like to do here, he's going to definitely play to where he's cutting the 3 in and banking, coming 1 rail between the 5-4 would be my assumption. And then the trick here.
I thought I was going to jack up over the 9 ball there for a second.
What's nice about this is the 5 goes to the side so easily. There's really not many bad angles on the 4. Even if you're straight on the 4, you're okay. What you don't want to do is come all the way to the end rail and be back cutting the 4. And so he wisely stayed above it. One thing I like to tell is I like the angles where I'm going into the rail as opposed to back cutting balls, because then I can always use a little bit of side spin. I kind of unlock my side spin toolbox and give myself a little bit more flexibility. So after that, now it just seems like one other thing you don't want to get careless on, and he won't. The 6 leads the 7 so well. You certainly don't want an angle on the 8 where you're going into the 10, or even straight where you have to accept a long draw shot of the 9. You'd like to be able to, get a little closer. But given the way they lead to each other, I expect him to, he's back cutting the 6, which gives him a little more. He might come 3 rails around just to get a little closer and
take a good
nice angle.
No, it's not thin. It's pretty easy.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, it's pretty thin. Or it's not very thin, I should say. He got a little bit straight on the 7, so he's going to struggle to get the cue ball off the rail for this shot, though. But
He might just stop.
as long as he draws it back to about the side pocket, he can go off. He can use that right rail if he needed to.
You know what though? What he did there is he knew that with this angle. I guess maybe he's just playing to get straight. Boy,
I think he might.
But
He'll
he's
draw
keeping
to
it
the other.
simple.
I think he's going to draw to the other side of the 10 ball. Oh, he missed the shot though.
now that looks like a careless mistake, because
no.
Roberto shoots so good that should never happen. But I'm telling you, you play these percentages, and it's like looking at it. The one thing, it's like the 6 led to the 7 so well. The one thing you don't want to do is have a series of half-court testy shots on tight pockets where you have to make diagonal shots and long draws and all these things. And to me, even top players, the percentages are the percentages, and those little things add up. But anyway, nevertheless, it was a pretty open rack. So it looks surprising when it happens, but you can see how those little errors can snowball. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out.
Lost his cue ball there again. Is he going to get that 9 ball? Is that dry?
Yeah,
That is dry. All right, so Roberto is still racking. We can give the plug one more time. I don't think I actually pinned the comment before, so I will get the pinned comments into the post. And right as I say this, Jim's yelling at me to do so. So if you would like to donate to the stream, you can. Every $5 gets you one entry into the drawings for the beautiful Cuetec cue, the Predator Roadline cue, and the Jacoby Custom cue. Also, Roberto, you are up and you can go. Before,
All
so
right.
we'll get the
Let's see if he can
pinned
start making
comments
3
into the
balls on the
post.
break again. That was
Right as I
when
say
I was
this,
watching
Jim's
that.
yelling at me to do
I knew
so.
that was going to make him tough
So
to beat.
if you would
His
like to
break,
donate
he's,
to the stream, you
He
can.
really hits him. He really hits him here.
Every $5 gets you one entry into.
Well, you got the 4 on the side. And, the 3-6. Oh, the 3 does clear the 6.
Yep, it opens up, I think. So the
Yep, only 1 ball again. Now, the 2 to the 3 ball, I'll
1
tell
to
you,
the 2
2
is
to the
going to be
3
tough.
ball. Well, yeah, but if the 2 was the game ball, getting on the 2 wouldn't be that bad. But the key is getting the angle on the 2 to where you can land on the 3. You can't really be on our side of the 2. Straight in is perfect, or a little bit closer to this, where you're cutting and going to the side rails. Okay, side rail over by the 9 is okay. But I think you want to get kind of straight.
It wouldn't be nearly as tough as if you could shoot the 1 ball into the bottom left corner here, but you can't. It looks like the 5 ball's covering up most of that. So that's going to make the transition quite a bit tougher to get where you need to be.
Yeah, you just want to use a straight stun shot with a twist to right. You don't ever want to draw that ball. Now, he's a little above it. I think he can follow, as long as he can follow past the 10. And you don't want to use left spin here. The spin magnifies because of the thickness of the hit. A lot of people, you put a little left on and you can run into that 6. It's just a high ball. You could almost just high ball. If you notice that the measles were not spinning on that shot. Now, this is testy. There's some traffic. The most natural way to pocket the ball is usually low outside. And with that 7 ball there, he wants to draw between the side pocket and the 7, or between the 9 and the 7. But mostly you just want to make this ball because as long as you make it, you figure probably okay. Wow, he hit that really, really clean. He did run into the 8. But like I said, the priority there is to make the ball and not scratch, of course. And as long as you do that, you figure that you kind of have to get a little bit of a bad rub to not have a shot at the ball that near the pocket.
I think probably.
But yeah, he navigated that really, really well. He got, that shot on the 2 ball, getting on the 2 to the 3. It looks easy when they do it, but it required a lot of precision there. So does this.
Came up short on that one. He's going to have to run, I believe he's going to have to run the 7 ball to the side pocket and actually run the cue ball around 3, maybe 4 rails now at this point around the 10 ball. He's going to
He's going to the
draw
side.
Okay.
Wow. Well,
missed it.
Oy.
He missed it again. So that's the reason why I don't like shooting that ball coming back to the. I like using the natural line the cue ball wants to go in, anyways, because you're coming across the line of the 8 ball. It's pretty tough to get it perfectly down the straight track. All right, so we're over to Wojtek. Everybody out there, please give this a quick share if you would, if you have not done so already. Share to your local pool group, share to your personal page, tag a friend. Help us get this out there to as many people as possible. It's some of the top players in the world, and it is a free stream.
All right, well, we got to see Wojtek he made 2 balls. What a great break.
Get off the floor.
We've got,
the 3-ball stuff.
Ooh, does that 3-ball pass?
The 3-ball. Oh, it looks like it does pass. Taking a look at the side view, it looks like it does pass. It looks like it's very, very tight, but it does look like it will pass.
So what angle do you want on the 2 to get to the 3? That 8 and 10 take away a lot of the area that you'd like to get positioned for.
I like I like having really thin on the 2-ball. Not really thin, but like almost like shooting the 1-ball straight in and just kind of drawing it back about 6 or 7 inches.
And that way you can kind of stun over to the second diamond on the left side of the table, just below the 10.
Yeah, that
seems
the shot
okay.
that I like.
I know I said I don't typically like back cuts because I prefer to be able to use side spin, but when it's laying that natural, it's no problem. And even with this, he could even punch forward between the 10-8.
Yeah, he's going to punch it through now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so for people, he might even be able to do this with a full rolling ball, but for people that don't know this shot, you aim center and you use a medium swing, and the cue ball picks up a little bit of roll from the table, but not enough full roll to zing into the 8 ball. So it's just kind of what we call like a stun run through in the snooker world. So let's see if he can. He'd like to stay above the 3, so he's not. He did. That was a fully rolling ball. I stand corrected, but he was able to get past the 8 and control his speed really well. So, but now looking ahead to the 6 to the 7, we've got the 6 on the side rail. I think it's one of those angles where if you're if you're shooting short side, that might even be better. It's easier to get short side. You can follow your ball up table, but as long as the point doesn't interfere, he could certainly get on either side of this ball. But he's looking at the short side.
Yeah.
Again, I like if you're going to play it. Go ahead.
I don't know that he can get to the short side comfortably. I mean, he's tracking right. He's gonna have a tough shot to the 6. He overran it. So, well, he's got the angle. He can hit it with inside and go off of 2 cushions and get to the right side of the 7 ball. He can load it up with left hand spin and just kind of roll it in softly and get to the left side of the 7 ball.
Or if he feels more comfortable, he's got enough angle to where he could even use like a low right and come 3 rails around the 8-10, which is with the angle he's got, it actually is not. You don't have to shoot it all that hard. So depending on which is going to give him the best make percentage. The inside shots require less speed, but they're a little less natural. But notice he's got an angle. I was going to say when he's playing short side, he has that angle going into the rail because even he can use a side spin to really control the cue ball well. Angle he's got actually is not. You don't have to shoot it all that. He was really good. He hit that great. What a great! This is his first opportunity at the table, and he's down on the score. He's had a couple tough breaks, and he had a difficult layout. I mean that getting from the 1 to the 2 to the 3, and then getting good on that 6, and the shot he just made was not one you like to start your day with. So he really showed that. Nice. Wow.
Probably just a high, slightly inside hit here. Maybe he wants to just kind of stun across the face of the 10 for the 10 into the same pocket. But I think I would go forward with just a little bit of inside spin. Just like that.
I think that, that was pretty. And there we go. And he didn't rush that shot either. He looked at it. And never a doubt.
Beautifully done.
All right, well.
Not to score up at 1-1.
Yeah, Roberto, he's only been breaking at 1 ball now, as opposed to the 3 in his warm up, and he's kind of fumbled a couple opportunities. So Roberto, who do you like? The guy that's been? Do you like the guy that's been fumbling, that's been struggling with the break, or do you like the guy that's been struggling with the runouts? I still think that you can't keep betting on Roberto to make blunders. So you got to go with a guy that's breaking better. But
Roberto, you are up.
Let's see. Let's just see.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's you got to assume that these types of players aren't going to miss balls, and it's not like Roberto's missed them by a lot. He's missed them by fractions of an inch. So not that I don't think that Wojtek is really struggling with his break too much, though. I think he had a really unfortunate kick in the first one. In the second one, he had about 3 balls jaw out and not fall. So small sample size, but I think he's going to be okay. Same with the small sample size for Roberto. I can't imagine he's going to continue missing balls. Roberto is hitting them at about 25 miles an hour, and he is just not getting great runouts. He's getting workable runouts, but the transitions are even here again. I think the 1 ball into the bottom right, following it forward 2 rails to about exactly where his cue ball is right now is the shot that I like.
I might just back up the 1 and follow the same spot, but just with either way, yeah. But I think this is pretty natural. The 1 leads to the 2, leads to the 3 pretty well. A couple ways to get around to the 5. I think that, the 5 from the middle of the table, it seems like you can cut the 5 at our bottom right corner and follow 2 rails towards the 6 in the upper right. And just this actually seems pretty natural. I think actually the 7 to the 8, just because it's covered by the 9 and 10, you have to lay the cue ball on the end rail and maybe travel a little ways. There's no rail that you can get to right after the 7 because of the lay of the 9, 10. But really here, nothing that I see as being a real problem. So now, once again, though, he's actually fumbled. He's gotten through some problem racks, but let's see how clean he makes this run. You could get on either side of it or straight in and draw back, but let's see what he does here.
Coming up a little bit short, but there's nothing really wrong with it here. You can either just roll the ball in and kind of play at pocket speed and drift out to just past the center of the table for the 6, or you can put a little bit of inside spin on it and try to get just above the side pocket. I think you have.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like coming all the way across. So he came all the way across because here's what you don't want to be doing is he got really funny where he's going to the left side and now he's got to navigate around that 10. He played it that way so that he could come off the second rail, trying to get to where he was straighter on the 6 and he can go straight forward. I'm sorry to be hard on him. He'll probably do fine, but in the entire rack, this is one of the kind of the keys was not being where you're going into the 10 ball here. And now he's going to have to.
The shot that I liked, I think, was hit that about 2 diamonds further and play the 6 ball into the bottom left, or the top left, I should say. Because then your cue ball's always kind of going away from. You're always going to the right side of the 9.
Yeah, you can't really get on the wrong side if you play to come zigzagging across. Yep.
And it doesn't make the execution of the shot any too much harder, if at all.
Well, especially with his lively rails, yeah. But as it is here, I think that first of all, you've got to make the 6, and then you've got to decide either to stun into the 10 and just try to hit the 10, or maybe. I think that seems like what you do is you just kind of dribble into the bottom half of the 10.
That's a nice shot.
Or just past it.
That's a nice shot.
That's really, really smooth.
Now all the way up to the bottom rail here. And track
it's really easy to miss. A lot of people miss the 6 ball trying to steer the cue ball where they want it. And so what you have to do is you have to decide where you want the cue ball to go. If you're going to make the ball, where do you want to send the cue ball? And then once you get that decided, you have to go back and put your attention on pocketing the 6 ball. You still have to make the 6 ball. You can't just go all in on the position. So he did that really well. And yes, you're right. He just floated right along the line, and now it's going to be, barring the unforeseen, looks like he's pulling out ahead to 2-1. And he hit that pretty smooth.
All right, over to Wojtek for his, I believe this is his 4th opportunity at the table. Of course, Roberto Gomez did go first. So Wojtek is given 1 rack, still in line with Roberto.
Now, Nate, I haven't seen this happen in the matches I've watched. If it goes 6-6 and Roberto runs out, does Wojtek have a chance to tie it, or is it just the
does,
first person to
yes.
7?
The
Okay.
players, there has to be, you have to be 7 or more without the break advantage. So you have to win in a smaller amount of racks. If that makes sense. That's a great break right there.
Yes. It sure is. The 3 ball is going to stop.
No, okay.
Oh,
it's okay.
it opened up.
It flicked off the correct side. I was going to say the right side of the 9 ball, but directionally speaking, that would not be that would not be a smart choice of words. So it flicked off the correct side of the 9 to stay free to the side pocket. And we can take a look at this side view here and see that the 3 ball does go to the side pocket very easily, and the 2 ball is on that correct side of the table as well for easy positioning to it. This is about as easy of a run out as you're going to basically have. He doesn't have to transition from one side of the table
but
at all.
the 8. Well, but yeah, that's true. But once he gets past the 6, the 8's on one side rail, the 9's on the other side rail, both near that side pocket where you have to get pretty good on them. And then if you look at where the 6 is, you could get to where you're cutting the 6 in and floating over to get on the 8 in the same pocket. But it's easy to get flat angles on the 8. So really, it's going to be about getting from the 6 to the 8, not just getting on the 8, but getting on the 8 with the angle to get across table for the 9. If you fall flat on that 8, that could be a run ender. But he won't let that happen. But my question is, how is he going to make sure that doesn't happen? So he's coming over right now he knows that that's kind of the key. He's picking his angle that's going to allow him to really stun over above the side pocket and out. It's even not outside the realm of possibility, depending on the angle he gets, to play the 8 short side, because when you're close to the 8, it's harder to get straight in. But, okay, he really see the angle he left himself. He's like, yeah, I'm making sure that I'm not – he's going to be – well, as long as he draws above the side, he's going to be bouncing off. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him come all the way down to, like, the head spot. It's going to look like he overran it, but he's saying, no, I'd rather take a little distance here than get flat on the 8 where I have to pound it.
Yeah, he can draw it above it pretty easily. He's just gotta hit it pure. You can't decelerate through the stroke. He's gonna look at maybe even bumping into it here. So maybe
he
maybe the angle's a little bit worse than it looks.
Yeah, he wanted to come a little further, but again, this is where it's not that it was hard to get from the 3 to the 6, but he was just concerned about getting a flat angle on the 6. So yeah, you might be right. And given how tough it is to get from the 8 to the 9, I don't mind really if you follow and run into half the ball. It's not too bad here. It'd be nice to get the cue ball off the rail. Ooh.
That's going to be okay.
Oh, he got that perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to have to drift
the
3 rails towards the 9.
Nice. Yeah. I wonder 3 or 2, either one. Yeah, I think I sometimes come 2 here just because I'm always afraid the 3 rails. It's coming a little close to the side, and sometimes you catch it a little thick and you go towards the side. So I like using just a straight high ball and just hit it soft enough to just get to like the kitchen line. I just go 2 rails to the kitchen line.
Yep. Shout out to Gloria.
Or the third diamond.
Shout out to Gloria Jean in the comments. She has been with us the entire way, and she even sponsored the event. So everybody go over and like her Ride the 9 tour page. And maybe you want to even give a link to it as well, Gloria. She does things like this all the time in the industry. She does them with amateurs. So if you like this type of format, make sure to go over and like her page.
Well, this is cool. This is exciting. So they both went 1 for 3 out of their first 3. Roberto with a couple uncharacteristic misses, and Wojtek with a couple of struggles with his break. But now Roberto's dialed into shot making. Wojtek has just broken 3 balls. They both ran their last rack. Now I'm starting to get excited. I can feel the pulse of the matches.
I think that's a pulse of Monster energy.
It could be. This stuff is no joke. We've got vitamin B. Anyway.
I got vitamin C, as in vitamin coffee. So out of curiosity, everybody out there watching, let's hear, who do you want to win this match? We'll do thumbs up for Wojtek, and we'll do hearts for Roberto Gomez. Who do you want to win this match? Pound those thumbs and pound those hearts for whoever you want.
This is not so easy.
I
It's
think
not
that,
terrible.
is that,
No,
that's
it's
the-
not. It's just tricky. So the 2 balls up table and the
Yeah.
4-8 looks like it's the combo.
The
Yeah.
3 to the 4, and then the 4 to the 6 ball is going to be the key transition. I even like trying to bump into the 3 ball maybe just a little bit here, maybe flick off the right side of it. No, because if you miss it, you're in trouble. So that's not a thing.
Now look at for everybody watching, he's a long way to the 2. Now he could have gotten a lot closer, but it was more important to him that he had the right angle going into the rail. Once again, playing into the rail, so you could use a little right spin. You don't draw this ball. People always miss when they're trying to draw this ball. You stun it with right spin because the tangent line already leads you cross side. So just a little bit of right spin brings you right back as far on our end of the table as you need to be. Your make percentage goes way up, and your accuracy with the cue ball and your speed control. So speed control and make and cue ball accuracy, all much better stun shot with outside there. And with that, this is really nice. I really like the way he played this. He got to where he could cutting the 4 to the 8. The 4 is going to come to the end rail, and the cue ball's coming across. If you get more straight on that combo, the 4 is trickling to the end rail, makes it very difficult to play shape. So he found himself an angle to where he really, really made that natural, and now he's just got one more challenge here. Yeah, he took a little extra time there. He was kind of winding up to just kind of make a quick shot. Then he's like, well, maybe this deserves a little bit of respect. And that's what I like about it. He's not going to just freewheel through this. He knows that this is a contested match. This is not so easy. If he doesn't have an angle to draw towards the 10, if he's straighter than that, he's got to find a gap in between these balls of some which way. Oh, he had a good angle. Okay. He's just playing for the camera.
Well, now he's a little tricky. Now we might have to run it around 3 times.
I
don't know if he can hold it. Take a look at the side view here.
You know what, though? There's times when people throws it on the.
It's close. I think he can hold it if he hits it perfectly, but I don't think you ever want to take that risk. I think you got to load this up with just a pretty much a tiny little bit below center, but a lot of right hand spin. This is not going to get
Is
there.
that 9 ball in play? Oh,
I thought he was going to hit the 9. Beautifully done. I thought he was going to bump that 9 ball.
So one thing I tell people too is I can't blame Roberto. That shot he had was difficult enough. Just to hit the shot he hit was a great shot. And it was a little hard luck to get right there in the end rail. But I see a lot of people where they do play shape for a ball, and they just kind of send the cue ball to the end rail blindly, and they're like, anywhere down there on that rail. And then they end up freezing to the rail and looking, and they realize that they're in a little bit of trouble. And so I usually make a walk to the end rail to see if I freeze, am I okay?
But right
in
to the
his
50-yard line here.
I would flip a coin, and then heads, I'd cut it to the right.
I think you
Tails,
have
I'd
to
cut
cut
it
it.
to the left.
Oh, man. I think you have to cut it to the
But
left.
he can reach. Yeah, he can reach it better to the left, I think. But
it looks to be about a horse apiece either way. The 10 ball shaded ever so slightly to the left. That's why, of course, I would shoot it to the left. But
now, what's going on, man? This is let's see a shot here.
nice.
Well, very nicely recovered. But have you noticed how well he plays through the tough part of the rack? And then it seems like he's just gets a little. Does he lose his focus, maybe? Because he solved the rack multiple times, got to where he had like 2 or 3 balls left, and then it's just I'm not picking on the guy just because I think we're all guilty of that. It's just interesting how that could happen. You can kind of like they say that when you're a rock climber, more climbers die on the descent. Like they climb the mountain successfully, they're all focused and intense. Then they're walking off the back of the road and they trip and stumble down a hill and get killed. Carelessness will kill you in this game.
He almost scratched about 4 times right there.
Now, this here, I'll just jump right in because the 2 to the 3, he made a very good break. 3 balls on the break. The 2 to the 3 is critical here. And the way the 1 is laying, there's really not a great way to get the cue ball out. you have to kind of draw it out of there, 1 or 2 rails or straight. If he has the angle, boy, can he get in the middle of the table, follow? Can he get the cue ball? Where he's pointing is, it's looking like he thinks he can follow to the end rail with left spin and then come 2 rails out tight out of that corner to get shape for the 3 in the same pocket as the 1. So that's good. If the 10 interfered with that route, or if he couldn't get, if he gets too thin where he can't get to that end rail, boy, does this become a monster. Then you got to start whipping it around with low outside, and that's just not a good way to run tables. So getting a right angle on this 2 ball, and it's tough to do with that 1. But I think that's exactly where he put his tip. I think he's going to be happy with this. Can he get to the end rail here, Nate?
It looks like he is able to. The 10 ball shouldn't come into play. I think, I think he's okay. Just about a tip and a half a high and about a tip and a quarter of outside probably for this shot. Difficult part is going to be controlling the throw of the 2 ball. And that's...
I don't know that he's going to play it all the way to the side rail. I think he's going to be tracking towards like the first or second diamond probably. So he might not go all the way to the side rail. He might kind of leg it like this. Well, I mean, it did touch the side rail, but you notice he didn't like play it to come bouncing off the side rail because he was coming deep. If you see where it hit like a diamond and a half. So he couldn't normally on these types of shots, he'd like to aim it at the 3rd diamond and bounce towards the 3. On that shot, it was kind of lagging long. So he had to kind of it was a little bit more demanding on his speed control. And now it looks like just one good shot from the 8 to the 9. And
we have ourselves a tied up match again with the same amount of racks played.
Couple ways to play it.
This is going to be tricky. I don't think that cuts to the back. Take a better look at the side.
I'm actually not sure.
I don't think that cuts to the back pocket. He might have himself in just about jail here.
Yeah, I don't know if he was. It looked like he was playing for the corner, but anyway, now does he jump it off the back of jump the cue ball off the back of the side pocket? Okay,
definitely. I think he can cut it to the corner pocket, but it's tough. He's going to hit the nipple, I think, on the side pocket. Oh, he actually was able to miss it. That's a great shot. But now he makes his transition to the 9 pretty brutal, actually. I think
this is where you want to stun the ball. You want to cut the 8 into the thin part of the pocket using a smooth, firm stun shot and just a little bit of right. You don't want to draw it. Oh, he's thinking he's going to roll through it. See, this is tough because the cue ball can do the dipsy do, but with a nice kind of center ball, let it pick up a little roll. You still want to kind of cut the 8 a little bit on the thin side. If he can do that, if he can come 1 rail, that's better. I thought he was too straight for that, but he is.
You can take a look at the side view. That 8 ball's off that rail a little bit. I like going 3 rails at it.
Okay.
Well,
he's saying he can come 1.
Yeah, maybe I don't like that because then you really have to get that deep in to get down to the pro side.
And the 9 ball is like, oh boy, the 9 ball is like an inch or 2 to the right of the middle of the end rail, and that doesn't look like much. But when you know how it is when you're playing shape for it, it really changes the nature of your target.
The 9 ball's off the rail a little bit. You're probably not going to want to try to do too much of this to avoid the 10 ball. This might be one where you just kind of
ram into it.
You just kind of ram it in with the speed to get up to the top rail and maybe out a little bit. And you kind of just take your chance. I don't think you want to go forward with an inside stroke and go around the table 3 rails for the 10 into the same pocket.
Yeah, I might try to just contact the 10 full here. I mean, I don't like missing this ball. So for me, this is a tough enough shot. I kind of just try to make it, and whatever's going to give me the most natural. Now, he did the inside spin, and he hit the 10. He did hit the 10. Okay.
He flicked it, and he's going to have himself a nice tester here.
Ooh. He's already had that 1 on the 6 he put down, but this is an awkward bridge. It's an awkward angle, and it's a long stroke. So even just a long shot like this is tough. When you add in this angle where you're kind of going into, and then kind of this bridge might hamper you just a little. You don't really want to bridge off the rail. Maybe he can. Okay. That nameplate. I thought the pocket plate might be a little bit. Okay, let's see it. Whiz check. Come on now.
Yep, nothing wrong with getting up off this shot. This is an important one. This is an important one for sure.
Sometimes at a spot like this, I like to remember other times I've made this shot. I'll just remember a time I'm like, I've made this shot before. I'll picture myself like having won a game like this before. I'm like, that's right. Try to remember, just try to lock out of that good feeling.
Nicely done.
Nicely done, man. That was so big. Because here's the thing: is the pressure in this format. It's not
All
like a
right,
normal
over to
10-ball
Roberto.
set where if you get another chance, you might come back. I mean, if you fall behind, it just puts so much heat on you. Hey, what was the score with the thumbs up and the hearts?
There wasn't much participation in there. I saw significantly more thumbs up than hearts, but there wasn't too many voting either way. Now I'm seeing a couple more thumbs.
I'm rooting for both these guys. I just want them both to win. Can't?
Oh, last
No,
ball
he just-
moving almost.
Boy, I can't believe it. He was breaking so well. Okay, so look
That
at this
3 ball.
2 to the 3. Yeah, well, you know what? Really, the good news is that the 5 is not hard to get on. So that really, really, really makes this easier. But even actually getting the right angle on the 2 ball from where the 1 is sitting, it's not so easy. I think you have to just shoot the 1 and come one rail with low outside to the middle of the table, or he's going to draw back with ball in hand. That makes sense. So it's not so bad. You have to get past. What I'm telling myself here is I'm drawing back, and as long as I cross the line of the 6 where I'm not elevated over the 6, then I like it. Now pretty close to straight in's okay, given the lie of the 5. And given the difficulty of the 3.
Good enough.
Yeah, that's well good enough for Roberto. I'd be on pins and needles right now. But
given the shot, I mean, you can't ask for too much better than this. I mean, the cue ball being
no,
over
he
a
just
couple
made
inches.
this shot. He had this shot a couple racks ago, and I want to say on like a 4 ball. Oh boy, it's a tough shot, man. One thing, and again, I mean, Roberto, I'm not one to second guess. I can only speak to how I need to play the game. And for me, when I'm shooting the 2 ball, instead of stunning cross table, I tend to roll that ball with some outside spin, because with a rolling ball and a little bit of outside, I feel like I can control my cue ball speed and land lightly on the second rail, just get a little bit more full, which for me, if I believe in myself this shot, like my make percentage on this shot goes down drastically compared to if I'm, a foot better on the ball. So I like to roll that 2 ball and, kind of finesse across. But that's just because Roberto has a different degree of firepower.
Just
All right.
narrowly misses the scratch again. He's playing with fire. All right, so I will take Demetrius, let me have this. I will take a second to push the donations for the cues for the end of the playoffs. You have the opportunity to win a beautiful Cuetec Shane Van Boning pearlescent cue, a Jacoby custom cue, or a Predator road line. As well, the person with the largest donation by the end of today will win themselves a Poison Jump Break cue. So if you would like to get a donation into the stream, the pinned comment has all of the ways that you can do it. And we really appreciate all donations. The actual money goes back to the players to getting them their entry fees back so that they had an opportunity to free roll in this tournament. That is going to hopefully entice them to come back in the future so that we can put more shows like this on for you fans. So thank you to all donations. And if you would like to get one, the pinned comment has all of the ways to do it. 8 ball. Okay, perfect. It's a good shot there. Gets past the line of the 8 ball so that he's able to either draw back for the 3 ball into the same pocket or just basically shoot the 3 up into the top right.
Yeah, I like the short side. Once again, this is actually the 5 to the 6 to the 8. If you look at the 5 to the 6,
3 to the 6.
that 8 ball. Well, that 8 ball really is in the way of the 2 rail route. Normally you get on the 5 where you're playing high inside. The 10 ball blocks low outside. So I think when he plays the 5 to the 6, I expect him to get a little bit flatter on this 5 ball than normal, like not so much cut, and maybe just stun one rail right off the end rail towards the middle of the table. Because again, one of the key here is you don't really want to get straight on the 6. So I expect a flat angle on the 5 and then a one rail stun to the middle of the table.
Rattles it in.
A little bit flatter on the 5, and now I think he's going to go past the middle. I mean, he might even go all the way to. I called the spot before. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. I thought that was the 5.
Yeah, that's why I was
7.
confused at what you were talking about this whole time.
Well, on my screen that looks like the 5 ball, so I apologize, but I'm not embarrassed because we're working with the best we can.
So just a drift up table here. Maybe a little bit of outside spin just to straighten it up, but there's nothing wrong with going towards the 8 ball here. You'd have to hit quite a bit of inside to probably bump into the 8 ball. And now probably 3 rails forward for the 10 ball into the same pocket. You could also draw out here and play it into the bottom right, which is what he's looking at. He's a big, tall guy, so this is not too bad of a stretch for him. And for the poison jump cue that I mentioned for the largest donation of the day wins that is currently being won by a $20 bid. So you're going to get a $200 poison jump break cue for it. The person right now is going to get it for $20 donation. Pretty good odds right there.
Very nice. Congratulations. So what do we got? I'm sorry. I'm watching the stream. I'm not watching the Facebook post. So is this 3-3 or 4-4? I've lost track.
It is 4-3 Wojtek.
Oh, really? Oh, because Roberto with that with that fumble on the last rack. God. Oh no.
Dry.
And that's his first dry break. It's
all right.
Boy, it's funny.
So now that
I never would have predicted this.
Now that we have a little bit of time, Wojtek is running the ball, so we are going to run over for a quick ad. And back over to Wojtek, perfectly timed to where he is ready to start up.
So Wojtek is up 4-3 and has the break now, huh?
Szewczyk has the break disadvantage, meaning that he did not break first. I don't know if it's advantage or not, but I don't know how else to refer to it. He was the second person that broke, so he is actually with a 1-rack advantage as well as this opportunity at the table, which is going to turn into a dry break, it looks like. So he was not able to extend his lead. So back over to Roberto Gomez, down 1 rack, and they have both broken the balls the same amount of times now. So back over to Roberto. Here he comes to grab his break cue.
I find it fascinating, Nate, and I went through the same thing, although with much different results, not nearly as competitive. But I went through the same thing where when I was warming up, I was breaking very effectively. And then once the cameras flipped and I knew that I had to make a ball in the break, it just gets tougher. And he was making 3 balls every break warming up, and now he's been making 0 to 1, mostly 1. I just wonder, it's so tough.
4 ball down
he made
to the
the 4
pocket. Cue ball. Oh,
he
that was
wrapped
a
the
9-4
9-4 rails.
I thought that was with him standing in the way. I was looking at the end view. Of course, I like to throw up both the side view and the end view up for the break so that you can watch from either angle that you watch. But I was watching.
Yeah, this is curtains. You roll the 1 in the corner, lay the cue ball on the side rail. You can shoot the 2 and go 2 rails at the 3, and each ball leads nicely to the next. Now, the only thing I'd say is he has fumbled on a few of these routine racks, so this is very important. He's down a rack. He actually can't force a win from here. Wojtek has served, so, I mean, at this point, he needs a mistake out of his opponent, but he needs to give his opponent the chance to make the mistake, and he has to convert on the routine runs, and I expect him to do so. boy, I don't know, like another 2 feet there. This is fine. It's just
He has the
little
opportunity
extra.
to just kind of punch in and stay to the right of the 5, or give it a little extra and go back and forth.
Yeah, but little thing. He's perfect. I don't know, but you get a little thin here then because you were a little long on the other one. Those little things, man. You just crack the door open just a little bit for blunders to sneak in. And his cue ball, I've watched him play. I'll tell you where I really became a fan of Roberto's is when we were watching him play Bergman in that 8-ball. Take what you make, race to I forget if it was 80 or 100. I can't remember. But yeah, I'll tell you what, man. So then his cue ball was so good in that 8-ball. And so I became a big fan. But I'll tell you guys, I was just saying that this rack looks really, really open. But you notice that he got a little long on the 3. And then everyone's like, oh, it's fine. He's a good player. But then it's like, then you got to it kind of hampers your cue ball. You get a little thin on the 5. You're under pressure already. Yeah, it's just a story of kind of small percentages and how snowballs turn into avalanches when it comes to positional error. Okay.
So Wojtek with the 1-point advantage and the break advantage, so he could extend his lead out to 2 here. He has a ball down.
And he's got to be feeling pretty confident right now when you've got the lead and your opponent's struggling. But, yeah, and he broke these well. Getting good on the 2 to get past the 10 for the 3. I mean, really not a lot to this. But I think he might just play one rail out to the middle of the table and then really there's not a terrible angle you can get on the 2 as long as you're fairly full. So it looks like, you couldn't really ask for much more than this. Nice break.
Give one more plug out there. If you would like to share the stream, please do. Help us get this out to additional people. It is a free stream. It's going to be free all the way through. So please give this a share if you would. Help us get it out there. So the question for the 4 balls, do you want to play it into the top left, the left middle, or do you want to try to come through it for the bottom right or the bottom left? I think the left middle is the pocket I would be playing this to.
That seems sensible. Boy,
now you're not going to.
I'm a little surprised. He was trying to come off the rail. Yeah, he might.
No. Does it pass the 6 ball? It does not pass 6 ball. This is really flat. You might have to play this into the bottom right, or I guess I'm on a weird side view here, so I'll switch back over.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
I'm on, of course, I'm controlling the stream, so I'm switching between cameras all the time, so the people at home know which pockets I'm referring to. But I think he might have to play this into. Oh, he forced it up nicely. That's a great shot.
Did he? I wonder. He didn't look like he went rail first there, but he really created a lot of movement. I wish I was there watching in person, or I could talk to him about that because what he just did there. I think he. I don't know if he caught that rail first.
He did.
Anyway,
he did.
I'll never know.
Did catch it. I think he did catch it rail first from what I just watched on the replay. This is nicely done.
Very good shot.
It's got to get going just a little bit. Oh, this is going to make it just a little bit tough. Let's see here. It's going to be just a little bit thin. I think he can kind of stun this out a little bit just to kind of kill the cue ball. But I think just rolling this ball in pocket speed and taking a back cut on the 7 using the right and the first long rail is the best way. Just get a back cut on the 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if you get thinner than that, if you're too thin to do that, you can always double the rail with inside. But my gosh, that's not what you want to do. Just roll this in nicely. Oh yeah, he's fine.
And actually,
I'll tell you what,
he's
man,
actually in kind of a bad.
I really.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking about Roberto, man, because for me, it's like he's been, this tournament's been going on for a week and a half. So of course he had his playoff match. He prepared. He was probably working on his break, and he played his playoff match, and he's been waiting to play this match. He's been breaking really good in warm up. He made some amazing shots. He opened up with a really tough back cut on the 9 in the first rack to pull out to a lead, and then it's like you kind of get a little bit off on a couple of routine shots, and then it just slips through your fingers, and it happens so fast. and all of a sudden this big event that you've been playing where he's a serious contender with his firepower and break. I mean, he's definitely live to make a deep run or win this event. And, it just seems like to get eliminated from a tournament because you just a couple funny angles or a couple of, it never ceases to amaze me how, that's why people that play pool at the high levels, they say this is one of the hardest games in the world. It is just you could be playing so well, so many of the shots, and then just one or two shots go a little off, and next thing you know.
Oh, look at this. He's going to get very, very fortunate. He puts his hand up and apologizes. He got very fortunate that ball stopped rolling in time.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want to double hit the cue ball here.
So 5-3, and then he still has a chance. 5-3, and even if Roberto runs out, Wojtek.
He has cleared
he's really in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he has cleared 2 racks. Roberto could run the next 3 racks, and he could still lose this match. Wojtek needs to run the next 2. So Roberto, you are up.
And this is where some of us might be feeling discouragement or some helplessness. But Roberto, he's got the Filipino blood running through his veins, and he just smiles right now and says, "I like it tough." This is where you don't get to wear the spiky hair without that attitude.
Roberto is plenty battle tested and knows what he's doing.
Sure. Look at that! He crushed him. I don't know how they're going to spread or how many he makes, but he crushed him.
He's got the 4 down to the side. I'm glad that he stopped to not grab the cue ball right there.
Okay, the 2 to the 3, man. That's the key here.
Well, we do have
the 8 ball blocks the natural path.
Hold on, Demetrius. We do have it in the rules that if you pick up the cue ball before the balls are done rolling, that is a foul. So I'm glad that he did not grab the cue ball there. It stops us from having to make a very difficult call, which is not fun. But we do have it in the rules that says that you cannot do that. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we knew the 2 to the 3 was going to be tough. But normally you'd want to cut it and come one rail across table, but the 8 blocked that. He played to get full and draw back, and
did he just get himself hooked?
Failed. Yeah, he had
to have miscued. He had to have miscued on that shot. Even if that doesn't hit the 7 ball, his cue ball's only going to get back to that 3rd diamond right at the 3 ball.
Well, yeah. In any case, okay. So
gets the balls moving. Maybe he didn't miscue, but it seemed like he had to have. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, his tip accuracy isn't so poor that he was going to try to draw the ball and end up stopping. You're right. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a miscue. So, but you know what? But then again, miscues happen when you're trying to power draw length of the table. So that's why that 1 to the 2 to the 3 was really challenging there. And I don't disagree with what he did. There was not really a higher percentage way of playing it. He just, that's when the balls are laying tough. Sometimes that happens. Now, Roberto clearly needs Wojtek to make an error, both mathematically and psychologically here. So he's Wojtek really has the opportunity to see he broke, made a ball.
1 ball down to the side. 6 balls going to be sitting in front. This is a pretty good break. This is probably the best break he's had thus far. The 8 to the 9 looks to be the only work I believe.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about the 8 to the 9 is that I think that the side pocket's not in place. So if you get an angle where you're in the middle of the table shooting the 8, then you can come across. Like maybe if you're shooting from like the line of where the 4 ball is now, that's a pretty good angle. So, and the 7 is conveniently sitting there, and the 6 is resting on a side. So he has a good ball to lead to the lead ball, but clearly that's this tournament's kind of coming down to him. If he can convert on this, it seems like he's almost as much of an advantage as you could have in terms of locking up the set, and that seems like the key shot. So, although the 3 to the 4 has to be played accurately as well.
Ooh, all right. I did not see that one coming, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, he did really well.
It makes it easier to get onto the 4.
On the 3. That's right. That was the one, because if you lay the cue ball on the end rail, which a lot of us would do, if you lay the cue ball on the end rail, then you're kind of coming off the side rail diagonally across the shot line. Here, you're coming parallel with the side rail, and you're floating a little bit less across the shot line of the 4, and that was another of the key transitions. So that was pretty cool what he just did there. I like it.
Yeah, just probably wants to get this over to the. He looks let's take a better look at the side view. Oh, he's got plenty of angles. So I like getting all the way over to this left cushion and back out. I don't like to get it anywhere close to the left cushion, unless you're going to play the 7 into the corner, and then I like to keep it closer to the side rail. But if he wants to play the 7 ball into the side pocket as well, then I like getting the cue ball well off the rail.
I'd predict he goes to the corner with the 7 ball. I might be wrong, but when you're coming back for the side, if you get straight, it looks great. But if you get a funny, if you're back cutting the 7, then you're kind of having to go 3 rails around, which isn't all bad because coming off the 3rd rail is the line you'd want towards the 8 anyway. So maybe that's okay to play for the side. But in general, side pockets are a little bit less forgiving on position. In this particular case, the 3 rail angle to the 8 is not bad. So
that's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good speed.
Yeah, no.
Drift. Well, now you just drift up table. You can either stun it for that 8 ball there, or you can go all the way to the end rail too and get a pretty good angle on the 8 ball to the side as well. We just saw from the side view that the angle to the side for the 8, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, as long as you're full on the ball, there's a lot of options.
Yeah,
but,
so
this is the angle he really wanted.
Yeah, it's a great angle to go 2 cushions. He wants to be right in between probably the 2nd and 3rd diamond. He doesn't want to come below the 2nd diamond, I don't think. So I suspect he'll be just above the 2nd diamond on this right long rail.
Now, again, he's never drawing this ball. It's always a stun shot or even just a rolling ball with left spin, depending. He stunned it, and like you said, he came a little bit further, but not by much.
Yeah, and you can see he was kind of pausing there, so you could tell by his body language he was not overly happy with where the line of the cue ball was, which is why he kind of froze in place. When the pros hit the ball well, once that ball falls into the pocket, they're ready to go on to their next shot. They're ready to move to keep their flow going. And when you see them freeze in place and just stare at the cue ball, they're not happy with it.
Yeah, the little sweat. Now he was looking like he might bump the 10 here, which
I think he has
he's
to.
too close to the rail to draw.
Oh, this is going to be another tester for him. He wanted to hit that a lot more full than he did. And this is why I said you wanted to stay above the 2nd diamond. That's why he froze in place. He was not happy that he came below it.
This is when they shoot these balls in clean, it looks like the ball's out, but these are really. This is where it's nice to have a 2-game lead, and you know what I mean. He's playing good.
Yeah,
this is where it's nice to be Wojtek.
Yeah, he's already made a shot like this in this match, and this is, really, in this type of format where you can't put your opponent in their seat for 3 racks and run a 4-pack to win the set for Roberto. This could be the match right here.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I don't know that there's been a more important shot in the match than this.
What do you think his make percentage is? I'd say he's probably 65% to make
70.
This. Yeah,
I was going to say 70. Yeah, but 2 out of 3 sounds about right. Boy, is that a good shot? Can he beat the corner?
That. Oh my goodness gracious!
Don't be listening. Don't listen with headphones. That was me on the commentary. Holy smokes! That had a little something of everything. That was a little bit of everything for us.
Oh man! And I'm sure Roberto has got to be just ready to puke after that.
Oh,
it's a great shot.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, you can't really. All you can do is go all in to make the ball. What a great shot! Now Roberto, that was an identical break to the last one. Is that a rerun? Wow. Oh no. Okay. Boy, is he gonna? Wow! Did he just yank that magic rack out of there like a surgeon? I
think he did. When I saw him going for that magic rack, I was staring intently at that right there. So we do have a rule that if you bump any balls,
when you do a
highlight.
When you do the highlight reel, I want to see that magic rack removal. That should make a highlight reel. What he just did, he walked up and yanked it out like somebody yanking the tablecloth out from underneath a big pile of dishes without moving anything. That was that was something else there.
I think he's done that before. What do you think?
Wow, I'm telling you, I don't even know what to think right now. On all ball fouls, and he just yanks the thing. I'm sorry, guys.
This six
That was
ball
amazing.
This six ball's brutal. He's got to get dead straight on this off this rail. So this is a shot where a lot of people will try to hit this with inside English, come off that second rail, and try to go at the six ball. I like to go more of a full ball hit and stay down below, stay below the second diamond on that left. Well, let's get a good view here. I think this is the view we want. I like staying below the second diamond, and I like staying below the side diamond because it gives you the longest and the straightest opportunity at getting dead straight in on this. So you can see he has a huge angle on this. If you play, and he hit it with inside English, if you hit that with more of a center ball hit, you're going to lengthen it out. It's going to be down by the second diamond more, underneath the second diamond.
Yeah.
And then you have the best opportunity to get as straight as you possibly can.
The only way that breaks down is if you're so full that you can't get any cue ball movement, and you need inside to speed up the cue ball. And I'm not sure, but
Did he just flick the 10 ball
spot.
in? Oh, he hung the 10
Oh,
ball.
it hung up. Man.
So
But we're playing no short rack. Like that 10 ball would have spotted up and created
Yeah.
a lot of problems for him anyway. So, yeah.
There's a little bit of
it's
frustration.
tough, man. Well, pool, yeah, it sure is, man. Pool's such a difficult game, and there's just, I feel for Roberto, man. He's been working really hard, playing really well, and just got a little bit off on a couple shots. And, it's a morning match, too, and I'm not sure. Do you know where Roberto is stationed out of? Like, where is he playing from?
Right now he's in Peoria, Illinois. He's there for that big
so
event that's happening right now. And the reason why we're playing
Yeah.
at 8 a.m. for him is because we're playing at 8 a.m. for him because he has to play in that event all day. So once 10 o'clock starts and the event starts, he is no longer available for the rest of the day. That's a great break.
Well,
So
it is.
You just got to find the gap between the 9 and the 10 for the 3 ball, or get your angle to come above the 9 ball to try to hit the 9-6 gap.
Yeah, and then the 6 to the 7. Now we might see a 3 rails around, because looking ahead to from the 6 to the 7, the 9 and 10 kind of block it from getting on the lower side of the 6, where you can float up table. Whereas looking from the 3 to the 4, it's pretty natural to play towards the middle of the table, and then you can shoot the 6 and swing around 3 rails to get down for the 7. So let's see here. Yeah, I think you want to get, like you're saying, kind of full on the 2. And is he stunning between the 7 and the rail and popping 2 rails towards the 2?
He is.
Yep, that's what he chose.
And he's got to
coming right along the shot line.
He's got to hold on. Doesn't want to get jacked.
Coming right along the shot line.
So I think he's
just
actually
stop and then.
I think. Do you stop here or do you draw above it?
I think you just stop here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that 3 ball, you can roll that in with center and just come right towards the shot line on the 4. So he came towards the 2. Now he's going to stop beyond the line towards the 3, and then he's going to roll the 3 and come right towards the 4. So, and then even when he shoots the 4, he's going to come off the side rail.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He did come back.
I was going to say I like drawing that out there. The 3 to the 4 just becomes too difficult. Even with a center ball hit, you're still controlling it. Here now he can actually hit a stop shot basically, and use a little bit of right hand spin to get above the 9 ball.
It just comes down to how far the 3 is off the rail. If the 3 was another inch off the rail, it
Correct,
changes the shot. So you got to be at the table. But yeah, this is totally fine.
I think we're going to get to see a fun transitional shot from the 6 to the 7. I think we might get to see 3 rails for that one. Depends on how he plays this. Okay, nope. So he decided to give a little extra on this shot so that he would take a little bit of pressure off the 6 ball. If you just kind of roll that ball in there, you can back cut the 4 ball, get the cue ball up to close to the center of the table, back cut the 6 ball into the side and send the cue ball around 3 rails. Actually, 4 rails, really, for that 7 ball. That's the kind of the shot that I thought was going to be potentially a fun one. And that's what he's looking at right there. The second thing that he looked at was the shot that I just said, the 4 rails for positioning on the 6 ball. So he'll try to get above just almost to the side pocket, which is about where he's at right there. And then a little bit of an outside stroke here. Maybe a straight right spin. He wants to connect the end rail twice, once below and once above the side pocket, and that's his 4 rails. This is going to be a fun shot. I like these transitions.
And he'll come pretty deep out of the corner as well, because he wants to come into the 3rd rail
Correct.
outside the kitchen. Like, he actually went pretty deep on the 7. I'm a little surprised because now he's back cutting. Well, he got pretty good there. Okay.
That's beautifully
I
done.
like to come sharp out of the corner and kind of come towards like the 3rd or 2nd and a half diamond up on the side rail. So I'm that way, for those of you guys that have been listening to me, I like being above the ball on the 7. So I'm going into the end rail. I can use side spin to change my cue ball's route a little bit more. But yeah, I think sinking below this ball and back cutting it, sometimes you can get a little bit too deep. But anyway, he got perfect, so it doesn't matter. He
needs to hold
is
on.
looking at.
He's got a back cut on the paint ball. So maybe we'll see him draw to the end rail and then down with a little bit of outside spin to send the cue ball back towards the rail he's bridging off of right now. I think that's probably the shot. He might go forward 3 times and do the same exact thing, which it looks like he is. Maybe he's hitting it with inside. Inside is what he's hitting it with. Okay. Oh, and he's perfect.
Yeah, it was a back cut, but like it's not that much. And now, listen, Wojtek, what an amazing set. Now, I wasn't keeping track of how many racks played. I would guess that he made 7 racks. I would guess that was no more than 11 at bats.
Yeah, I think 11 was about my guess. Yeah, 11 or maybe 10.
Yeah, 10 or 11. I mean, that was pretty strong. And especially considering that 2 of those were dry breaks, meaning I think there was only 1 rack where he didn't actually complete a run out. And, I mean, really impressive.
That's really beautifully done.
Man.
All right, so that is going to be the match. We are going to get one quick advertising in while we get the interviews ready, so hang with us for just a second. All right, Wojtek, congratulations, man. You played, you got your break going a little bit in the beginning after a couple of unfortunate dry breaks and a really weird, creepy kick into the corner. But you ended up getting your break going, and man, it looked good. How do you feel after that? Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Wojtek, you'll have to unmute yourself if you can hear me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, everyone does it, right? When I watch the matches, everyone does it. You get used to it. What I wanted to say is that I'm really excited about the way I played. That was really nice. And as you said, that was the worst possible way to start the match. When I broke pretty decent and got kicked in, then you know you're already pretty high nerves go even higher. So then I had a dry break. That's right. And throughout the match. My break wasn't really perfect. It wasn't very controlled. I was making balls, but it wasn't the same as during practice when I just stopped the cue ball on the center table. That was my biggest aim to make a ball of the break. So whenever the pressure goes high, it's really hard to have like a very fluent arm in the break. So I'll have to work on that, but still it was all right.
So out of curiosity, maybe you don't know the answer to this question. How much of that struggle to keep the arm straight and moving in a nice fluid way is basically I don't know what you want to say. Maybe it's because of this format and it's so much different than playing in the finals of a Euro Tour or something like that. How much do you think is the format that keeps that hard?
Yeah, this format makes it super difficult because in a tournament, you can have a shaky arm in the beginning, but once you're through a couple of matches, you feel the confidence growing in you. Once you beat some guys, and it all happens very quickly in the same day. Here we wait a couple of days for the match, so basically we warm up very nice. Like I could play for an hour, so I was really warmed up, which is different from the tournaments. But then suddenly comes up a point when you really have to show what you practiced, right, and show your best. And you don't have this time to get this confidence like in a regular tournament. You just have this couple of breaks, and whenever you get unlucky or just break it bad, it can cost you very, very much.
Yeah. So,
Wojtek, I just wanted to let me jump in once. I just want to say, Wojtek, my name is Demetrius. You've won me as a fan. This is the first time I've had a chance to see you play. You demonstrated everything from a really good break shot to amazing pattern play, amazing cue ball, and then those 2 10 balls that you had to come with. Boy, you had 2 really full court long shots on the 10. One of them was a back cut. One of them you were facing a deficit against Roberto, and if you had failed to pocket that ball, the match might have gone differently. What's your secret? Like, how do you practice those full court shots, or how do you do that?
Thank you very much, first of all. What can I say? Actually, pretty funny, because I think it was 2 or 3 days ago that I spent like 2 hours practicing only long shots on this very table. And I was using the 10 ball every time, actually. So, and it was pretty much the same cue ball somewhere very close to the corner, and I was moving the 10 ball around the table. So I don't mean that I practiced it so perfectly that I will always make them, but in this particular situation, I remembered, come on, man, you practiced it a lot. Just keep on doing what you did. Stay on the shot. Stay on the shot is what I remembered myself a lot in those 2 situations. And it gave me some extra confidence, the fact that I practiced it just a couple days ago.
Outstanding. Well, congratulations, and thanks for giving us an outstanding show. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Wojtek, I have one more question for you as well. When I originally reached out to you as one of the invitees to this event, you said that you were actually you didn't think you could play because you were defending your thesis for your master's degree.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you're into the quarterfinals of the event. You know, is your college? I mean, you got to be playing a lot to practice for this event. What's happening with your college, man?
I think it's going all right. My thesis is accepted already. Now I need to prepare myself for the defense. I got like 100 questions to prepare, and I don't know when will that be. It could be in 2 weeks or even in 2 months. So I gotta come back to my computer and learn a little bit more. But I always find time for pool, and even during writing my thesis, I was practicing quite a lot. So I wasn't out of stroke.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to watch you play. And, of course, you're going to be partaking in the East versus West Challenge at the end of this event as well. So thank you for playing in that as well.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. I'm honored.
Yeah. And I think Roberto, I'm not sure if Roberto, you wanted to say anything? I'm not sure if he does or not. We can... I think he's kind of off to the side, so we'll have to get you unmuted.
Zerka.
See a spiky hair right at the top.
Yeah, my dog's came.
Roberto.
Yes, sir.
That this table, it got you a couple times with the pockets. It looks like a really tight table you're playing on.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. The table is fine. It's just the time. I cannot play like this early morning. Yeah, I never play I never play 8 in the morning. I'm used to wake up at 10, 12, at 12, 1, 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, 10 seems a little early for you still, buddy.
Yes, still a little early. Very early.
Yeah, but with
my body is shaking. I don't know. I miss easy balls that I'm not supposed to miss.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely saw that. So the 3 ball down in the corner, I think you hung up a 4 ball as well.
Yeah.
Definitely, we know that your game is a little bit. Your game is definitely higher than what we saw today, but it is a hard time to play at 8 a.m. Of course, we had to play this because you're at the event that you're at. So, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have to play here. But regardless, we thank you very much for playing in the event, and hopefully you had a good time with the event.
Yeah, I have a good time. Thanks for inviting me on this. Thank you. My sponsor, Chad, Shoulders, and Bogies. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
All I'm thinking now is my bed. Even in the middle of the game, I'm thinking of my bed. I want to come back to my bed.
Well, you did cash. You did make yourself a little bit of money. So hopefully that's okay, and we'll get that out to you right away. And thank you again for playing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Congratulations again to Wojtek. You are going to be moving on to the quarterfinals of the Poison Q's VG10. You are going to be playing against
Roberto for the game.
You are going to be playing against some guy named Fedor Gorst in your next round. So practice up. I heard he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's my friend. He's a great player. Very good.
Yeah. So other than that, we will say one more time, if you would like to get a donation in for the Qs, they are going to be given away next I believe Wednesday. Every $5 gets you one entry into those, as well as the largest donation from today will win themselves a Poison Jump Break Q for free, just for making the donation. And of course, all of that money goes back to the players to get them their entry fee back for this event. And on top of it, you could win some great prizes as far as $3,000 worth of Qs at the end of the playoffs. So all of the ways that you can do that is in the pinned comments. And other than that, we will run just a few more ads, hang around to watch them, and then we will be back at, I guess we'll be back in 2.5 hours with our last match of the intro level of the Cuetec Playoffs, and that is going to be between Kelly Fisher and Dennis Grabe. So do not miss that. You're going to want to come back right here in 2.5 hours to watch that match. Other than that, Demetrius, thank you so much for joining me in the booth today.
It's been a pleasure, Nate, and thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys make it a lot of fun. It's just great to share. So talk to you guys a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. And other than that, everybody, 2.5 hours. We'll see you back right here.
Thank you.